If you've been following my journey, you know I'm all about helping men design a life that truly excites them. Well, I'm pumped to announce that the Life Design Blueprint is launching on Saturday, the 7th of September, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Now, this isn't just another course. It's a 4-week transformational program designed to help you gain clarity on what it is that you really want in life, setting actionable goals, and developing the systems and mindsets that you need to achieve them. Whether you're looking to start your own business, improve your personal life, or just get more out of your day-to-day, this program is exactly what you need. And it is going to be run live over 4 weeks with yours truly. So I'm pumped to meet a number of you guys. Now, here's the deal. The course is limited to just 50 people. And I want to make sure that everyone gets the attention and support that they deserve. And as a special bonus, the first 10 people who join during this intake will get a free one-to-one coaching session with me during the course. And that is valued at $500. We'll dive deep into your goals, challenges, and create a plan that's tailored specifically for you. So if you're serious about taking control of your life and making real progress, don't wait. Right, spots will fill up fast. So head over to thementhatcanproject.com/Life Design Blueprint and you can book your spot there. Or better yet, just go to the show notes and you will be able to check it out there. I look forward to having you join me for this 4-week transformational program. Just a reminder that the next intake kicks off on the 7th of September, so just over 3 weeks away. To book your spot, head to thementhatcanproject.com or use the link in the show notes. I look forward to having you there. Now let's get this episode started. Welcome back to the Man That Can Project podcast. I'm your host, Lachlan Stuart. Today I want to read you last week's newsletter. Build your life one day at a time. It's important to me because over the years I've spoken about so many different topics and I've always tried to understand it to the best of my ability based on where I was at that certain point in my life. And when you're first learning things, you don't necessarily seek to understand, or I didn't personally. I was more excited by the fact that I had a new perspective and I ran with it for a while. I ran with it, I implemented it, I gained feedback. That feedback then helped me make better decisions and I guess understand what worked well for me and what didn't. And over the years, I've read so many books, I've interviewed hundreds of people, and much like yourself, I've spoken to many people and I've had plenty of failures and plenty of success. And what that has taught me, and one huge lesson that it has taught me, is the importance of building your life one day at a time and really seeking to understand how you've managed to achieve the things that you have, or even things that you're curious about, the beliefs that you have, the opinions that you share, the people that you surround yourself with. And so I'm going to dive into all of that in this newsletter, but let me just go through reading it. And I'm going to read it, as you guys have probably recognized the last couple of episodes, the solo episodes. I am reading the newsletter, but I'm also elaborating on certain things. So forgive me why I'm really trying to get better at reading from the newsletter on the website there. And if you get bored with my voice, go read it yourself over at thementhatcanproject.com. Because I do think a lot about this. I spend a whole week writing it and I try to view it from multiple different perspectives and really answer questions that past Lockie had and also questions that future Lockie would have. And I hope that I do a good job in answering questions that maybe you guys have as well, because I do believe that I am not alone with this. So how do you eat an elephant? We've heard that before, but it's one bite at a time. So I always struggle with this word. I'm going to keep moving. Living a great life is achieved one day at a time. We all face moments where we stand at the base of the mountain, looking up and wondering, how do I get up there? Can I get up there? Is that really where I want to go? These questions can lead us down two paths, one of growth, optimism, and resilience, and one of fear, overwhelm, and hesitation. I've personally walked both paths, right? Focusing on growth and optimism led to fulfillment, while succumbing to the fear and hesitation left me feeling lost and defeated. From ages 28 to 35, I have experienced some of the most significant changes in my life, as I believe most people do. This period feels like a true coming of age where the pressures of being a man, husband, business owner, and friend really intensify. It's the age when many of us start families, establish our family life, and strive for financial security. The growth and adjustment can feel overwhelming, like starting at the base of a mountain every single day, just looking up going, how am I going to climb this? Do I want to climb this? Life dangles that carrot, prompting questions like, how do I earn more money? How do I be happier? What is truly important to me? And these questions drive our search for intentional living. Yet, why are so many men unhappy despite having successful businesses, a loving family, and a seemingly perfect life? There is no one-size-fits-all answer, but what I've been experimenting with being more intentional. I've been experimenting with being more intentional with my time over the past couple of years, and it has led to the happiest periods of my life. My marriage is the best it's ever been. I'm getting to see the world, and I genuinely love every day, all because I've learned to live intentionally, right? Building your life one day at a time. And living intentionally is like eating an elephant, one bite at a time. The key lays in taking one day at a time, taking one action at a time, having one meaningful conversation at a time. And you could probably throw in there earning $1 at a time. Actually, $1 at a time doesn't sound as good as earning $10 at a time, does it? But this approach allows us to build anything, embracing change, feedback, and the ability to pivot, right? We all know how important it is to learn to pivot. But don't mistake me for living in the moment either. I am clear on the direction that I want my life to go while being open to allowing life to guide me. There's a great saying, life happens for us, not to us. So I believe that any challenge or friction is there to teach me something. And one of the, best lessons I've learned over the years is to really lean into that. I went from being in the victim mindset where I thought that life was happening to me, not for me. And when you think it's happening to you, it's very easy to go, why is this continuing to happen to me? Why is nothing going right? Why does that person not like me? Why can't I get ahead? And when you're coming from that mindset, you're missing out on so many opportunities. I know the network that I had 10 years ago, and there were plenty of opportunities there. I just wasn't the person, and I also wasn't looking through the right lens to be able to act on that and to really add value to those things to help my life get ahead, because once again, it was happening to me, not for me. When I was able to shift from a victim mindset into, an abundant mindset where I started going, hey, I haven't been dealt a great hand here. However, what can I do? Or I know that I can do something. Let's get to work. The moment that approach started happening, I started creating a better life for myself. And that was at one day at a time. I look back over the last 10 years of my life. It's now, at the time of recording this, the 15th of August here in America. And being the 15th of August here, it's 10 years since when I first started, this journey of building a better life. And as I said at the beginning of this, I've taken so many twists and turns, and my ideas around things and beliefs around things have shifted and changed. But this is my journey. This is my experience, and I have an idea of what I'm trying to create. As I'm sure you do, as you're sitting here listening to this, there is a reason why you choose to listen to a personal development podcast right this moment, as opposed to, other ones you could be listening to, like Theo Von or comedy or music even, because I believe that you do want to build a better life, and you may be clear on what that looks like for you, or you may be just scratching the surface on what could that look like? What are the steps that I need to take? And regardless of where you are, I've been there, and there are pros and cons to both. When you're starting the journey, the less you know, the more oblivious you are to what it really takes, and you can almost fall into this sense of, I don't know what the word would be, but I just remember when I first started growing and developing, I was like, I'm going to make $1 million, really quickly. And as I've gotten further into business now, there's a lot more perceived limitations, like, oh, before I do that, I have to put a system in place so that I could scale it, or I have to make sure that I don't damage that part of my reputation over here, or I can't neglect this. So I think there are pros and cons, because the more you learn about making money, the more you consider when you're trying to make money, and vice versa. The less you know about making money, if you believe you want to make some, you don't have all the limitations around the things that get in your way, like rules and regulations, etc. Obviously, you want to do things ethically and above board, but like I said in the beginning, I was just like, I'm going to make $1 million. Here's how. Let's go. Whereas now I'm like really strategic, which pros and cons. So to go back on topic of where we were at with the newsletter, the idea is that I think the older we get and the more responsibility that we carry, the more we need to be intentional with our time. This is why having a vision can be a great way to pull us in the right direction. It's the exact reason why we're launching the Life Design Blueprint, because a lot of people, when they join the Academy, and the Academy is our program where men from all walks of life come to make progress, we help you build a clear plan and implement that. But what I would love more people to have an idea of before joining that is really what they want from their life. And I'm going through an interesting period now where I'm starting to think, hey, I love having a vision for my life, but does that also slow me down and hold me back because I'm trying to gain too much clarity? And if I'm being completely honest, I have an idea of where I would love my life to be. And it's not as detailed now as it once was, or I once made it out to be. And the reason why is I've started to recognize that life happens for me. So regardless of how great a plan I have, things are going to change, things are going to pivot, and I need to be malleable. I need to be able to roll with the punches or ride the wave, so to speak. And because of that, now the way that I look at it, and I've mentioned this a number of times on the show, that I have the idea of a few values that need to be met, and how they are met can change through different seasons of my life. But that is what drives me, and that is what fulfills me at this point in time. So having the direction to know that I want to be hanging around people like this who make me feel this way and who I can give back to. Connection, meaning people who are communicating well, tell me what's really going on, and I feel I can do the same. Health, I love health. I ran 2 marathons over the last 2 days, which is a first for me, and I'll probably talk about that more later when I launched the 58 to 58. And then there's, travel and adventure and wealth. So I have an idea of all of that. And what I do daily, building my life one day at a time, is moving me closer to that, but also accepting that change is inevitable, and I will need to pivot, and I will need to ride the wave as it happens. But what I would love to give you now, and once again, if you would like to see these steps written down, head over to themanthatcanproject.com, go to the newsletter, and this will be under Build Your Life One Day at a Time. But the detailed steps of the vision and moving you in the right direction are as this. And I want to keep it very simple, because I believe the more simple things appear to be and are, the more likely that you believe and you will take the required action to achieve that. So step number 1 is backward planning. So keep it simple. Start with the long-term vision, and let's say whether it's 3, 5, or 10 years, right? And break it down into smaller, more manageable steps for the 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, quarters, months, weeks, and daily tasks. If you find that overwhelming, just go, hey, in 5 years' time, I'd love to be earning $100,000 a year online. I'd love to have 2 kids and be able to spend my days how I choose to be. Then you can work backwards from that. In 12 months' time, I need to get to this milestone. Now you just focus on that 12-month or 12-week block to move forward. And what we do within the Academy is we help you get clear on that, but we then just focus on the 12-week block at hand. That's just that 12-week block is all you need to prioritize in that moment. Step 2, segmentation. So me, them, work is how I like to break it down. And I'm going to explain that now, but you may also listen to this and go, hey, I've got an idea of something that works better for you. If that's the case, do that. That's fine. This is just what works well for me. But the segmenting my day is as simple as this. I essentially just allocate time for personal development or me time, ultimately things for fulfilling me, whether it's learning guitar, training, anything like that. Then I do time for relationships, so the them time with my wife, with people outside of me, and then professional tasks, which is work. If I put it in those three baskets, it's very easy for me to feel more balanced and more fulfilled because I'm giving time to the things that are most important to me. And as I said, if that doesn't work well for you, try and find something that allows you to give time to important areas of your life every single day. That's essentially all I'm trying to do. Number 3 is nightly planning and setting priorities. So plan ahead, right? Planning ahead is just giving yourself direction, whether it's for the next day, the next week, the next month, right? When you have direction, you feel like you have purpose and more certainty, and it's a lot easier to take action. So prioritize and set realistic goals for the next day each night. It'll literally take you maximum 10 minutes. You're going to have meetings and things that are already in there, but then you could say, hey, I want to train tomorrow, or I want to go for a walk, or I want to, do a date night. Put those things in there. But focus on the priorities. Ask yourself, what has to happen today to make it a successful day? Ensure that daily priorities align with your weekly, monthly, and quarterly goals. That's the best way to prioritize things that I've found. Once again, if you have something better, implement that. Number 4 is regular feedback and progress tracking. Involve your family. If you've got a family, include your family in the feedback process to ensure balance and address any concerns. Now, you may think that you're crushing it because you're working 16-hour days and you're seeing the dollar values increase in your bank account. But if you don't talk to your family about it, they might say, hey, Dad or Lockie or whatever, we haven't seen you at all. We feel disconnected. Our family is falling apart. I don't care how many zeros we have in the bank account. We want time back, right? So get the buy-in, because when you're having to do a sprint at work or you're allowing yourself to slow down, you can get your family involved and your success becomes their success, which becomes family success. So track progress as well. So regularly review and adjust goals in key areas like relationships, health, finances, and lifestyle. Now, finally, 5th and final, flexibility. Embrace change. As I said to you, it's moving from that victim mindset, it's happening to me, not for me, to an abundant mindset, it's happening for me. Understand that plans will change, and trust me, this challenged me more than most people. I'm one of the most structured and routine-driven individuals that I know. But I really had to lean into that in order to improve my life. Adapt and use the changes to create momentum towards your goals, right? It's like riding a wave for anyone who's ever surfed. When you drop in it, and if you see it's bottoming out or barreling out, you can either change, jump off the back, or just hit the sand. All your choices. Finally, zoom out with that flexibility piece. So look at the big picture when things don't go to plan, and then zoom back in to make more informed decisions. And it's really a powerful reframe on how you can view your life. You may be struggling in the moment. Actually, let's use the marathons as the example. So I ran 2 marathons over 2 consecutive days because it is a great way for me to train for the 58 to 58. The reason I was doing 2 back-to-back was not to, prove to myself that I could do the 2. I believed I could do the 2. I was very interested to see how I would recover, because an area that I'm struggling with or don't have enough information around is how I would recover from big endurance events like that. So I did it not to break any records with times or anything, but to see, hey, how's my body going to pull up in the morning? What foods are going to work well for me? How many calories do I need to eat? And in the moment, I found myself yesterday looking at the time going, now I want to go 5:45-minute kilometer averages. And I started really focusing in on that, and it started getting in my head. And what I had to do was zoom out again and go, Lockie, the reason why you're doing this is not for times. Times don't matter. You need to zoom out. What's the thing that we're trying to learn here? And I was able to sort of get my head back in the right spot, And then I could zoom back in and just focus on one step at a time, and really was able to drop the time beside me. So powerful tool, learning to zoom in and zoom out with your goals and ambitions. Now, I can guarantee your life is different to mine, which is bloody awesome. But I know you can implement a few of these steps and see the improvements in your life. It's up to you to choose how you do it. I use Apple Notes, Apple Calendars, and reminders, which keeps things simple for me. You know, I've used Microsoft Teams, Google professional suites, etc. But for me, I carry my iPhone everywhere. My business isn't too complex with how things run, so it can run off my phone. For you, the situations may be different, but if you think about, you have a note-taking area, you have a calendar to schedule things, and you have reminders to remind you of tasks that you should be doing regularly, just keeps it simple and allows you to remind yourself of what's important. Okay, so remember, living intentionally is about taking it one day at a time. Start today by planning your ideal day, setting your priorities, and making time for what truly matters. You'll be amazed at the difference it can make. Take the first bite of your elephant today is how I summarize that. If you got value from that, please leave a rating and review, or reach out to me via Instagram if you have any, challenges that you're experiencing in your life. And a couple of things to remind yourself of. We do have the it's not Focus Success System anymore. We do have the Live Design Blueprint intake starting in 21 days. Now, if you would like to be part of that, I'm running that live. So not only will you get the information and you'll get access to the group and all of those things, I'll be there live to answer your questions. So if you really want a limited experience, because I am running it live for the first couple of times, because I want to gain feedback around it, and I want to really engage with you guys and make it the best possible course. If you want the live action for a fraction of the cost of what it's like to work with me, definitely enroll in this intake. You can do that over at my website, themanthatcanproject.com, and go to the Life Design Blueprint there on the homepage under courses. Everyone, or the first 10 people, who enroll will get a one-to-one coaching session with me valued at $500. My name is Lachlan Stuart. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, do something today to be better for tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you for listening to the Man That Can Project podcast. My name is Lachie Stuart, and I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful. If you did, please take a moment to rate and review the Man That Can Project on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with our newest episodes. We'll see you again next time.